7 minutes, 3 Houthi battle boats were wiped out in the middle of the Red Sea. But few people know before the explosion, Maersk Hangzhou was in a situation of thousands of pounds hanging by the hair, just one more RPG, and the entire ship worth hundreds of millions of dollars would be swallowed up. MH-60R Seahawk helicopters from the USS Eisenhower and USS Gravely rushed like gods of thunder at sea, turning the tide in an instant. And the subsequent response of the US Navy really made the world shudder. Hold tight. What you're about to see could rewrite history before your eyes. The South Red Sea stretched wide and silent, a sheet of black water broken only by the silhouette of the Singapore-flagged container ship Maersk Hangzhou. Her engines rumbled steadily, cutting through the waves with the confidence of routine commerce. To the crew, it was just another night passage. To the world, it appeared as calm as a postcard. But beneath the surface of that stillness lurked an ambush. A chilling voiceover pierces the quiet, a seemingly safe commercial ship. Yet in only minutes, it will become the centerpiece of one of the most audacious maritime strikes in recent memory.
Was that just a
From
few
the shoreline
miles
of
inland?
Hodeidah, 4 fast
Houthi
attack
strike
craft
team was setting up for
erupted
something
forward,
far
their wakes
more
carving
dangerous
white scars
than a
against the
fishing
dark
boat
sea.
with rifles.
Each vessel pushed to 50 knots, their hulls bouncing violently as engines screamed
against
on decks to Houthi. Fighters' eyes locked on the container ship, glowing faintly on the horizon. They were not improvising. This was a calculated strike guided by doctrine. Each Bog Hamar carried a grim arsenal thermobaric RPG launchers, capable of producing fireballs that could vaporize confined spaces, PKM, belt-fed machine guns spitting 650 rounds per minute, and well-oiled AK-47 rifles. Mounted Starlink terminals transmitted live imagery back to Houthi command, ensuring every maneuver was coordinated with precision from the mainland. This was not piracy. It was asymmetric warfare executed with digital clarity. The plan was merciless. First, cripple the bridge with a direct RPG strike. Second, circle in tight formation, shower the decks with machine gun bursts. Finally, board the ship before her crew could trigger a distress beacon. On board Maersk Hangzhou, the Trident Group security team scrambled into position. They carried M4 carbines and a single M240 Bravo machine gun. Their weapons were reliable but painfully inadequate compared to the firepower surging toward them. Sweat beaded across foreheads as the distance shrank rapidly. Then the first rocket screamed across the water. It missed the superstructure by 3 meters, a trail of sparks clawing the night sky. The shockwave rattled windows on the bridge, forcing the captain to grip the console. One officer whispered under his breath, "If the next one hits, we are finished." The trap had been sprung. From the deck of the USS Dwight D. Eisenhower, rotor blades cut into the night air with a deafening roar. At the same time, from the guided missile destroyer USS Gravely, another helicopter surged upward. 2 MH-60R Seahawk helicopters, call signs Lancer 71 and Lancer 72, were airborne. Their mission was clear intercept before the Maersk Hangzhou was boarded. But mathematics was merciless. The commercial vessel was only 4 minutes away from being swarmed. The Seahawks were 26 nautical miles out, a 9-minute sprint even at maximum throttle. A chilling narration echoed, "All calculations show they are going to be too late." Inside the cockpit's displays glowed with data. Each MH-60R carried advanced AN/APS-153V radar, a system able to track moving surface contacts through Doppler sheets. Pilots toggled to narrow beam mode, filtering through sea clutter to lock on fast attack craft. The aircrews knew time was slipping through their fingers like sand. At the same moment, the Trident Group guards on Maersk Hangzhou braced for impact. Their M4 carbines were dwarfed by the threat of thermobaric RPG-7 warheads. Their single M240 Bravo machine gun hammered into the night, but the gap closed far too fast. A rocket screamed by, detonating just meters from the bridge window. Glass rattled, crew members ducked. One man gasped, next one was split as in half. Above the sea, the Seahawks pushed 160 knots. Their General Electric T700 GE 401C turboshaft engines straining at maximum continuous power. Countdown timers ticked inside helmets. 9 minutes felt like eternity. Sweat poured across brows, rifles clutched tighter. Radios crackled. Every second was another heartbeat closer to catastrophe. It was not simply a flight. It was a race against inevitability. Life or death decided in minutes. The hunters were closing. The guardians were not yet there. 06:39 a.m. The first return blooms on multifunction display, 4 heat signatures. Riding the chopped 600 meters off the port quarter of Maersk Hangzhou, Lancer 71 drops to 150 feet, rotor wash, carving scars on the surface. Lancer 72 mirrors the descent. MJU 68B infrared decoy flares ignite. RR-180 radio frequency chaff unfurls into a glittering curtain to spoof seekers and radars. Inside the cockpits, the AN/APS-153V surface search radar shifts into moving target indicator and then inverse synthetic aperture radar rendering. silhouettes of Boghamar hulls and outboard legs. Target identity is no longer a question. Doors slide wide. The Browning M3M/GAU-21 tungsten 50 caliber machine guns thrum on mounts. Armor-piercing incendiary and tracer ammunition 12.7 by 99mm NATO tears into the night. At up to 1,100 rounds per minute, muzzle velocity near 890 meters per second. Boat 1 drives for the stern an RPG-7 with TBG-7B thermobaric warhead rising for a shot. The door gunner on Lancer 71 walks a string of tracers through the engine block. The first burst shatters metal. The second ruptures the fuel bladder. Fire sheets backward. 45 seconds later, the hull folds and sinks beneath a boiling slick. Boat 2 swings wide to flank. Lancer 71 snaps left and hammers a 3-second burst. The rudder assembly atomizes. The craft yaws broadside, takes green water over the rail, and capsizes fighters tumbling into splinters and spray. Boat 3 claws across the bow. Lancer 72 rakes the waterline, while Lancer 71 stitches the helm. Perforations bloom below the surface. The bilge pumps cannot keep pace. The bow rises, the stern gulps, and the boat slides under. Only Boat 4 remains, pitch black exhaust, as it flees northwest, smoking. The Seahawks hold station with the merchant vessel, refusing to leave their wall. In 7 minutes, 3 attack boats sank. A formation that once threatened the sea lane simply ceased to exist. The race to death has a victor and the night exhaled. The sea was still littered with burning wreckage when the real fury of the United States was unleashed. The clash near Maersk Hangzhou was only the spark. Washington demanded more than defense, it demanded retribution. 8 hours after the last Boghammer slipped beneath the waves, the guided missile destroyer USS Gravely advanced to the Yemeni coastline. The 5-inch Mark 45 Mod 4 naval gun roared to life. Each 70-pound high-explosive projectile left the barrel at nearly 2,600 feet per second, reaching targets more than 9 miles inland. The destroyer did not fire a token ball. It fired 92 rounds in relentless succession, each impact cratering sound. Radar stations, Jabal al-Tyr al-Mocha and Ras Isa, eyes that once guided, the swarms were reduced to twisted steel and smoldering ash. But America's punishment was far from over. As night fell, the deck of the USS Dwight D. Eisenhower trembled under the afterburners of 4 FA-18E Super Hornet strike fighters from VFA-131. Their wings bristled with AGM-154C joint, standoff weapons, precision glide bombs with stealth shaping, and a lethal broach warhead. Each munition carried 500 pounds of explosive, designed to penetrate up to 3.7 meters of reinforced concrete before detonating in a molten jet. At 6:43 p.m., 4 missiles sliced through the air, covering more than 70 kilometers in a silent glide. Seconds later, the Al-Duraihimi missile depot erupted. Secondary explosions tore through the complex as stockpiles of Kasev drones and Nor anti-ship missiles ignited. 18 unmanned aerial vehicles disintegrated in flames. 4 Nor systems were obliterated. Radio intercepts confirmed the deaths of 12 Houthi operators and 2 Iranian advisors embedded within the site. America did not simply shield a ship, it dismantled the roots of aggression. The echoes of America's retaliation still trembled in the Red Sea. Radar sites were nothing but molten ruins missile depots.
We take control over these aircraft via...
Yet the true weight of the clash was not measured in destroyed machines, but in the silence that followed. For hours, no Houthi boat dared stir. The sea lanes lay open again, but the warning was etched deep. Searchlights swept across the water. Debris floated in patches, scorched steel fragments of thermobaric RPG-7 launchers, shattered PKM receivers. Beneath it all rested the broken hulls of the Boghammer craft, consigned to the abyss. Overhead, the MH-60R Seahawk helicopters circled at low altitude AN/APS-153V radar, still scanning GAU-21 machine guns, trained outward guardians watching from the sky. From the horizon, the destroyer USS Gravely continued her patrol. Her Mark 45 Mod 4 naval gun sat smoking barrels scorched from 92 rounds, a reminder of firepower that could level entire coastlines if provoked. Then a final image, the Seahawk banking across the wreckage rotor blades, carving the dawn air. Below, the sea swallowed the last traces of the defeated swarm. A deep voiceover cut through the darkness, ironclad and merciless. A cargo ship narrowly escaped death, but the aftershocks of the battle resounded much farther away. It sends a warning touching the international lifeline maritime route is to take its own destruction from the United States Navy. The screen flickered to black. White letters blazed across the void. 7 minutes, 3 boats wiped out. Thank you for staying with us until the very end. It means the world. If this story moved you, please like, subscribe, and share so more voices can join this journey. Until next time, stay strong, stay awake, and I'll see you in the next video.